Hey Flosstube, this is Tara with World Woman Crafts, and we have 500 subscribers, y'all. What? I am still very floored by this information, even though it happened, gosh, probably 2 weeks ago. But yeah, I just want to start off at the top and, of course, express my gratitude for anyone who's ever watched part or all of my videos, who's ever lurked or commented or anything like that. And if you're new here, thank you so much for giving me a shot, particularly if you are someone that I met recently at the virtual Stars Hollow retreat and you decided to come give me a shot. It really means the world that after putting up with my shenanigans for 4 days, you were like, yeah, I could listen to her talk some more. And if you've been here for a little while longer, since the beginning, also just such a heartfelt thank you. It's very humbling with how many channels there are and, the diversity of projects that are ongoing and, just also all the other things that we need to be doing or want to be doing in our lives. It's very, very meaningful that you have chosen to spend some of your time with me. So with that, I will not get too sappy on it, but I am filming this, if you couldn't tell, on May the 4th. So we have some Star Wars friends with us. I don't really have any cute apparel or anything, but I do have my little BB-8 earrings on, and we have our little Mando Grogu candle, which we're all keeping an eye on, right? Make sure we don't burn my apartment down. We have our Porg friend, our BB-8, and Chewie here. It's like a Wookiee. He's not a Wookiee, he's Chewie. We have Chewbacca here with us, so have some friends with us today. And if you've been here before, you're a little bit closer to me today. We're branching out. We hit 500 and we're just going crazy. Anyway, today's Flosstube, I feel like not as much to show you. That's probably super loud. I feel like I don't have as much to show you as last time, but I had, all of my whips to show you last time. But we have a couple of finishes, a start, and a couple of whips, and lots of, I guess, more kind of personal sort of anecdotes as we go along. April was a super fun month and filled with lots of friends and lots of crafty adventures. So let's get into it. So to start off with, sorry, my notes down here, we will start off with any finishes or FFOs. So I have a 95% FFO. So this is my Zelda Biscornu from the Needle and Floss. I believe I showed this finished last time, and I have sewn it together, as you can see, but I don't have buttons for it yet. Typically in Biscornu designs, there's a button that goes in the center and through the bottom here. But yeah, I sewed this together, which it was funny. I did do this earlier this week after the Stars Hollow retreat, and I was like, I need to give my hands a break. I need to have sort of a forced break. I shouldn't be cross-stitching because my forearms and everything is a lot of stitching. We'll get into it, but it was a lot of stitching that weekend. I was like, I gotta take a break. And then that afternoon I was like, I gotta sew this Biscornu together. It's a different motion. It's in hand. I don't cross stitch in hand, so it's different. I'm having a very motivated moment, and I'm sure you can all relate. You don't want to waste those moments that you're feeling extra motivated. But anyway, looking great. This is on 32 count Fox and Rabbit linen in ballet slipper, and this is all DMC. And yeah, you've seen this before, but I think Biscornus are so cute. And now I'm hoping I'll just I'll have to go pick out some buttons, and this will be ready for Tears of the Kingdom, the new Zelda game, to come out next Friday. We're almost a week out. So, all right, here's I'm gonna count it as an FFO. Effort went into this. Next up, I had a Bird Crush Club finish, which, oh, here we go, was the August bird in the Bird Crush Club series from Lindy Stitches. And I think I just said this is the August bird number 8. of 12, and this is the Lewis's Woodpecker. This one was a lot of stitching. I feel like this might be the most, I don't know. I mean, some of them have been on decks and things, but this tree was big. And I think what really highlighted how big this tree was is, I wonder if I can find it. So if you were in the club, every month we got a pattern and we got a Threadworks that coordinated with that month's pattern. And then everything else is DMC other than the one Threadworks. But this is what remains of the Threadworks. I believe I have like four strands left, so like 2 links, because I was stitching 2/2 on this 32 count vintage country mocha Lugana. It's from Zweigart. It's an even weave. It's not a linen, but oh my gosh, this is funny. Foz is here. A few of y'all on the retreat got to meet him, and he has not had an interest in me filming in quite a while, so I blame y'all. But anyway, yeah, here is the Lewis's Woodpecker. Like I said, it was a big, obviously a big effort to fill in that tree, but it is done now. And it looks great. So now we can move on to September, which will be, y'all don't care. And yet here I am still looking. Okay, yeah, here we go. Next up, so you can get it hype, is the American Goldfinch, which I get these at my feeder. I mean, I feel like they're maybe like a less exciting bird than some of these, like, I mean, look at this. But I'm excited because so many of the birds have been Western birds, and I live on the East Coast, so I have seen this bird. So I'm excited to stitch a bird that I get to see on the reg that comes to my feeder. So that has been going great. That was a finish. And then my last finish is technically under our next section, which is starts, because it was a start and finish. And this was none other than Spring in Stars Hollow. So I'm going to try to keep the suspense a little bit here. So this is part of a series. This is the finish. This is part of a series that will include all of the seasons in Stars Hollow. So currently released are autumn, summer, and now spring. And then next year they will release winter. And this is through the Black Needle Society, and the designer is Katie Landis of the Black Needle Society. She's one of the geniuses behind it. And you have to purchase like the specialty box right now. So if you are able to purchase the box, you get the pattern, you get a bunch of goodies. I'm wearing the shirt that was included this year that says Rory's going to Yale. You get, you know, one of their mystery boxes, one of their specialty boxes, and you get access to a virtual retreat, which I'll probably try to save it a little bit more toward the end in case you're not super interested in hearing all about the retreat, but I will share some retreat thoughts. I had a great time, if you can't tell. And yeah, so the patterns come out once a year. Right now you can only get them through purchasing the boxes. They will eventually, I'm sure, be available to purchase just as patterns, but you're gonna have to be patient. So this is spring, and all of the patterns can be completed individually or they can be completed in a band. So I have shown autumn and summer before, but now I will reveal the 3 of them together. I love it. Here we go. Here's the full band. So as you can see, there is space, barely, for winter in Stars Hollow. So the reason my margins are so small is basically because this is a fat quarter, which is obviously like a nice standard size to buy. And I measured it about 5,000 times and I still was very nervous. I was able to stitch this in a Q-snap, but it was really cutting it close on this last row. But this was enough fabric to kind of wrap around the Q-snap, and I had a nice, good grip there. But winter will go on this end, and I measured it again because every time I look at it, I'm like, it looks kind of small, but it will fit. It will fit. I believe it. So, yeah, here it is all together. And I really love so far that they've had connecting elements, like the gazebo crosses over autumn and summer, and the guitar crosses over summer and spring. But it was good. And a really fun one about this pattern is that there are 12 hidden literal Easter eggs, not the metaphorical Easter eggs. Like there's one there, and you can see one like on top of the guitar and at the bottom of the guitar and around the takeout container, and the purple one on the house. So those are really fun to kind of find and stitch as you went along. And yeah, I could gush about this, but I stitched this so fast. This is definitely like the most stitching I have done over a given time frame, but like I said, I'll try to keep some of the retreat specific stuff till later in case you just wanted to see stitching and peace. Great, so that was my start and finish. And yeah, just really quickly, I have 2 whips to show you, and then if you want to go, you will be set. So first up, and these 2 are, I am sorry, not very exciting at this point. I'm sure if you have been around, here, I'll take this clamp off. But the first is Santa's Stamp Collection, which is another Black Needle Society pattern. This is another Katie Landis pattern. I am getting so close on this. I set a goal to do 150 stitches a week, and I continue to kind of like average more than that. I've had some weeks where I've like skipped, like last week with the retreat I didn't skip, but of course since I've been kind of regularly doing a lot, it's averaging to more than 150 stitches a week. But this week I finished stamp 19, which is this little train, and stamp 18, which is this nutcracker. And I'm trying to think, I don't 100% remember where I was before my last Flosstube, but I might have finished 14 and maybe 13. And so yeah, now we are down to these 3 stamps, which of course this one is the behemoth that I am not looking forward to, but stamp 23, I had really good progress on this. I only need to fill in the background. And then 24, I think, is one of the ones like this one that doesn't have full coverage background. So those should both be pretty quick. And then it's just like 1,400 stitches in this or whatever, and then we're done. So I am really excited how well this has been going, and excited to get a nice decent sized finish out of this. So yeah, that's where this one's at. I'm loving it. This is on 32 count plush linen by Fortnite Fabrics, and the Stars Hollow I stitched on like 32 count white Lugana, like just basic Swigart, but of course 32 count because it's me. And yeah, not much else to say about this one other than I am ready for it to be done. I am going out of town next week, and I'm actually kind of contemplating maybe just bringing this and just sort of knocking it out. But we'll see. We will see. So that one's going really well. And then the other whip, you know him, you love him. It's Walter. Walter, my wizard. If you are new around here, I'm gonna put a call out again because I still have not gotten his name sorted. So my wizard needs a name, and one decision point that we have made is that his name, his like legal name is Walter, but he has some kind of cool wizard name. So I want some kind of mystical, like, gosh, I don't know, like an Alistair, but like something even, I don't know. I'll know it when I see it. I have not found it on my own yet, but his legal name is Walter. But he doesn't want to tell anyone that. So anyway, we're working on Walter, and this one I have some progress on since you have last seen it. I'm actually going to try to put up a picture of where it was last time. It's been a good month for Walter. The conversion to Royal Rose has really gone well for me. So here we are. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure last time I showed it, I'm trying to remember. I mean, you will have seen it, but I'm pretty sure I had just started to get to the sky. But now we are a good ways over. I've decided for now that I think I'm going to just kind of keep working in the span of what's in the Q-snap, and then kind of go from there, as opposed to going all the way across. But you know, all decisions subject to change. But this is going really well, and today I'm finishing up right around here. This is the first like lens of the telescope, so I'm getting really excited. I think that's been another, I kind of went on last time about how much Royal Rose has been helping me, and especially with, so this is the, you might have read on the sheet, but this is regular size, but it is max color, so it is 200 colors. And so the confetti is a little out of control, especially in this like little star area. And I mean, some of these highlights in the curtains, it's just like, you would not believe. I mean, if you stitch a lot of Heaven and Earth designs, you would, but I cannot believe, I'll put it that way, the confetti. And so I think with Royal Rose, like sort of forcing yourself to work in those 10 by 20 columns, it forces you to pick up all those little ninja stitches that you don't want to pick up. And that's been really great. And it's been very motivating because it's starting to look like the picture, you know, like you can recognize features, you can see where you're going. And that has been very motivating. And I anticipate that maybe my goal for this one for the year is 10%. And I'm currently at 3 1/3%. And I think I might actually be able to beat 10% if my motivation stays up. Because right now, this is kind of all I want to work on, to be honest with you. And since last month, I purchased some of these like bobbies to hold my threads, and that has been really nice. I like that they kind of clip onto each other, so you can just sort of, I mean, obviously with me holding it up like this, they're a little out of the way, but when they're leaned back on my stand, they're a little bit more wrangled. So that has been a nice addition to the squad, to the Heaven and Earth design squad. And this I am stitching 1 strand full cross over 1 on 25 count, and this is the pre-gridded stuff. So yeah, we got some of our little like star nebula stuff, and yeah, the beginning of our telescope. So yeah, I put a lot of time into this. A lot of time into Walter. Okay. So other than that, that is all the stitching, which is no joke because, I mean, Stars Hollow was 9,025 stitches. Like I said, probably put, you know, my goal, to meet my goal of 10%, I have to put in at least 370 stitches a week in Walter, and I'm not majorly exceeding that at this point, especially because, again, I've had a couple weeks I've had to skip, so any extra stitching I have done has sort of been banked towards that average 370 stitches a week, so I'm not that ahead, but yeah, it's been a lot of stitching on those particular pieces and you know, the stamp collection. So that's all been good. One notable absent whip this month is my Dark Queen of the Earth, which I was thinking about pulling her out, but I'm not gonna pull her out. You've seen it. I'll throw up a picture if you have somehow not come across this pattern before. But basically I have been fully up on this, but last month they released the face options and I am a little torn. I don't know how much y'all care about this. The drama has been very interesting to me. Inside the Facebook group, there has been much discussion about these faces, and Erin and Cassandra of Autumn Lane Stitchery have expressed a lot of opinions as well, but I guess I'll just keep my mouth shut. I don't need to have it all out there on the internet, but I love drama. So I love watching Facebook drama about things like cross stitch where like I get into it, but it's like in the end of fairly little consequence. But anyway, they released 2 faces that were fully fleshed out and then a third abandoned face that is not fully fleshed out. That was an idea that they kind of scrapped. And I've seen a lot of great combinations of the different faces. And where I'm currently landing right now is I think I want to take the bottom of the, like the bottom, I guess up to the eyes actually, like this part of the face from the abandoned face, and then do the top as the second face with the second face's hair. And use the second face's skin coloring. Because that's another thing that I think has been interesting is the first face is green and the second face is brown skin toned. And I feel very drawn to the brown skin tone because to me that feels more earth, that feels more tree. She's got these vines going around her. And since this is May 4th, we just got the May 1st release, which is her chest and her arms. And I like, and the arms kind of fuse into that like arching vine situation that's already on there. So I feel like she should be brown skin toned for me. The green ones also look phenomenal, but for me, this is my mindset. I feel like she should have the brown skin tone. So I think for this month, since we're kind of tiptoeing over into plans, I am still gonna skip stitching the face because I want to see what the crown options are. And this week, supposedly, they're going to release the alternate hair colors. So I kind of want to see like what options are there. I really, really love the look of the hair on the alternate face, the brown skinned elfin face. So I don't anticipate that I'll want to change the color, but I just want to see. I just want to see what the options are. So I think I'm not going to stitch the face this month to not fall 2 months behind. I think I am going to stitch the chest and the arms, because I know I want the brown skin. So I think that's the plan. I think that's plan number 1 is that we got to get back on the Dark Queen because I don't want to fall behind. But it was just kind of not the month for stitching this month, not the month for stitching that one. And then, as I mentioned, I kind of have my year-long goals for Walter, the Astronomer, and the stamp collection, which are going great. And then I am hoping to maybe start that September bird. That's another thing I'm thinking about packing for my trip. But that may be derailed slightly by 2 other little stitch-alongs, which were the result of the Stars Hollow retreat. So I guess I'll chat about it here if you're here this far. So Spring in Stars Hollow, the retreat was fantastic. Again, I work from home. So last year I kind of did the was working but was also participating game. This year I just took the time off, and I'm really glad I did because a number of meetings were starting to pile up on that Thursday of the retreat, and I was like, I'm gone, sorry. So that worked out because I would have been pretty busy if I was working that day. So that worked out great. I took the time off and got to fully participate in every challenge and every game and all that. And while the way that they host it, if you've not participated in a Black Needle Society virtual retreat before, it is held exclusively through Facebook. And I have a cat hair on the end of my nose is distracting me. Okay, I think I got it. They hold it exclusively through Facebook, and there are video chat rooms that are just open all weekend, and they name them different, places in Stars Hollow. So there's the gazebo and Luke's Diner and, Miss Patty's, Dosie's Market, things like that. And so you can just kind of hop in and out of the rooms, and it's really great. And this year I feel like I kind of got to see, there's a lot of people who buy the boxes, a lot of people in the Facebook group, but there's only a small proportion of people that actually hang out in the rooms, which, you know, on the one hand, as someone who likes to talk and, you know, feels more comfortable once I get to know people a little bit, which is most people, I don't think I'm special for that, but it is nice that there's only a handful of, well, there's probably like, I would say maybe 30 or 40 people that kind of consistently were coming in and out of the rooms. But so it was nice because you kind of were like, okay, I'm sort of familiar with everyone who is participating for the most part. But, you know, if ever, I want everyone to participate because it's super fun. But if there was, you know, I think the total number of people in that group was maybe like 200. So if there was 200 people trying to spread across these handful of rooms, I think it would be harder to have conversations just because it would just be a lot of people. So on the one hand, I'm thankful that not everybody participates because it's easier to chat if you are participating. But if you didn't participate, if you had the box and you know, participated maybe offline for the most part, like didn't really join any of the video chat rooms, like you should try a video chat room next year. It's really chill. It really is chill. But yeah, we had a great time, and one kind of group of girls that cropped up, ladies that cropped up for me multiple times. We spent a lot of hours just sitting in silence and stitching and talking and stitching, and they were just very fun. And we had kind of two Sals that came out of this. So one of them was Connie of Count Twice Stitch Once, which if you're not following their channel, I am embarrassed to admit that I had heard of Connie and her daughter Melina prior to this retreat, but I hadn't really like engaged with them like very much in any of the calls, and I hadn't really checked out their channel before, but they are hysterical. I love them. I love them. They're so funny. Incredible. So they were at this retreat, and so Connie was not stitching on the Stars Hollow piece. So all of these stitching challenges that are going on, there's like a prompt that you can follow, or you can stitch on the retreat piece, which was Spring and Stars Hollow. But Connie was not feeling Spring and Stars Hollow, so she had a different project for all 20 stitching challenges, I believe, or at least a good majority of them. And I think at the end she said she had 11 starts, which is just like more whips than I have in total right now. So that is incredible to me. But so anyway, every hour we would always be like, oh, hey Connie, like what are you stitching on? Just to see what, you know, what pattern she had picked. And during one of the challenge hours, I wasn't even there for this moment, but apparently she was stitching on a dirigible pattern, which is, I don't have it by me, but it's basically like a blimp, or like a Zeppelin, like that kind of thing. And you know, things can get garbled. It's a weird word to say. And so someone in the room was like, oh, I'm sorry, did you say you're stitching on a dirty gerbil? And therefore the Dirt Gerbil Sal was born. So we picked out this pattern here. I guess, I don't think it has a cover page. So if you will just bear with me one moment, I will show you. Oh gosh, maybe I won't show you. Okay, no, I guess I will put a picture up. This is technically a hamster pattern, but as we looked up, hamsters and gerbils look pretty dang similar. So this is our Dirt Gerbil Sal. And then additionally, Athena, who is the customer service rep of Black Needle Society, the third in the trio, her husband is a really avid hockey fan, and he roots for a team called the Avalanche. And during the weekend, the Avalanche were playing a team called the Kraken, which we all agreed is objectively just a better name and a cooler team name. And their logo was cooler and all that. So we also wanted to stitch a Kraken to irritate Athena's husband, I guess. Also, there's a lot of good Kraken patterns. That one was kind of hard to narrow down, but I think it was smart that we picked something that was a little bit smaller. So I also acquired from Lola cross stitch. This is Moonlight Kraken. So I think this one might be a start. Oh gosh, I don't know. But that just kind of gives you an idea of the kind of like shenanigans that happen over the weekend. It's just a lot of like silliness and staying up too late, especially because the challenges the last challenge, if you're East Coast like me, runs from 11 p.m. to 12 a.m. So it goes pretty late. You don't start till 10 in the morning, but that's pretty late to be stitching for me, at least. I'm not typically a super late night stitcher, so that goes pretty late for me. But anyway, definitely kind of got off in the weeds there. So plans for the month, basically, need to catch up on my Dark Queen, keep going on the whips that I have, possibly start my September bird or my dirty gerbil or my Kraken. And lastly, I think as I mentioned, I hit 500 subscribers, which is fantastic, and I do want to do maybe like a little giveaway, a little small giveaway. And my plan is I will be in Texas next week for my brother's graduation, and I am hoping to pop down to the Golden Needle again and maybe go pick out a few things for a little giveaway. So stay tuned for that. I think I might end up filming in 2 weeks, because not only will I want to get that out sooner rather than later, I also won one of the games at Spring and Stars Hollow. So they run two different types of games, basically. So one of them is called a stash dive, which is where you are physically pulling items in your space to meet like a scavenger hunt list prompt, basically. Or prompts, they have like 20 on the list. And then the other type of game that they host is called a digital dive, which is the same sort of thing, where you're kind of doing a scavenger hunt, but you are looking for product listings online. And I get pretty serious about digital dives. I won one last year, and so now I'm like, I have to do it again. So I pulled it off. I won a digital dive this year, and so there are prizes associated with winning the games. And I had hoped to wait to film this until my prize came in, but between me leaving and not wanting to get totally thrown off and wanting to kind of stay toward the earlier end of the month, today is the day. But I will show you, so that will be something I want to show off hopefully next time. I think there's like a bag and some silks and patterns. I should have written it all down, but they showed off what was in the prizes, and I'm very excited about some of the patterns and the bag, and yeah, it's all gonna be good. So those are kind of plans. And then next we'll do haul, and then I will just kind of rant a little bit in case you're interested. Not rant, update, some more life babbling. So on to the haul. First thing I want to share is I received a Stitchy gift from a friend. And this, I guess, well, you know what, never mind. I'll just make you listen to the story now. So the other thing that happened in April is I went to visit some good friends of mine up in Montana, and they are both very like digitally healthy, so I am not going to say much more about where I was, but I was in Montana. It's a big enough state. And I went and stayed with them for a week, and we had just like ultimate grandma vacation. We stayed home. We stayed home. We crafted a lot. We started a video game together because I knew that was something that like they like to do. And so we started a video game called Dredge, which I don't know how much overlap there is and how many of y'all are also interested in video games, but it's like a fishing horror game. If you want to talk video games, please feel free to hit me up at any point. But ooh, sorry, I bumped you. we played that together with like me playing the game and them sort of like watching and providing input and, you know, enjoying the story and the creepy factor. So that was really fun. We cooked. I had one of them is a much better sewist than I am, and so I brought some stuff for her to patch up. We did a little light sewing. We did some fabric dyeing, which I will get to in a second. We went to a gardening class, had a lot of tea. It was just fantastic. Absolutely hope to visit them again next year. So that was a lovely trip. And so one of them gifted me 2 charts that she picked up in New Orleans, which is so funny because I, if you've been here, you know this, but I was in New Orleans for a conference last fall, and I meant to go to this store. I had looked this up. The shop is called the Quarter Stitch, and it's in the French Quarter, so very aptly named. So the Quarter Stitch, and I did not get to go. And I was so excited that my friend did. So she got me 2 patterns. The first one is St. Charles Streetcar. And I love this. And what I love the most about this is not only are these like beautiful and not that big, which we love to see. The, let's see, the 903, that's this one, is 87 by 84. So a little bit smaller than Stars Hollow. That one's 95 by 95, so not that small, but smallish for a full coverage. And then the small streetcar, this one is 55 by 49. There is also inside, unfortunately I don't think I could show you without showing you the pattern, there are 2 additional patterns inside. One of them is a pin, a streetcar pin that is 49 by 23, and then there are little streetcar earrings. I freaking die. They're so cute. I mean, I don't know exactly what they look like because it's just a black and white, you know, kind of chart. So I kind of really want to stitch those. I have some perforated paper, which is what they say to stitch them on, but they are like 20 stitches wide by 9 high. So they're just little earrings, little streetcar earrings. So this is from Leslie Risters, I believe. Yeah, Leslie Risters. Let's see if can you see her name on the front? Distributed by Accents. I'm not sure, but here you go. You can see her name up here. Yeah, very cute. I love that one. The other one she picked out for me is Queen Street Alley, which is another beautiful full coverage. This one's a little bit bigger. This one is 180 by 180. A lot bigger, like mini HAED size. And I think, okay, yeah. Oh, there's a companion piece. This is not in here, but this is it, which this, I agree with her. I think definitely gives New Orleans vibes as well. But I think she said technically this is like in maybe like South Carolina or something. So, you know, Queen Street Alley, this is that. And this one says it is design adapted from artwork by Douglas Greer, and it says CW Design. Yeah, CW Designs. So how sweet was that? Love that. Additionally, I had some purchases. So I got the bobbies. I wanted to point out, I think is what the brand or the product is called, which are the little silicone thread holders that I'm using on my Heaven and Earth designs. And I can't believe I didn't show this off before. I got this a little while ago, but I finally got my hands on a DMC thread card, like the actual threads, and I am so excited about it. So now I just feel like I'm all about community. So if you need a color lookup, please feel free to message me on Instagram. It would be my absolute pleasure to help you out. Yeah, so they have some of the electric line here. They don't have any étoile, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, I think it's the electric line. some of the variegateds. And then they have a couple of samples of some of the like cottons. Very cool. So oh yeah, here you go. It's all written on the front. Yeah, Mulan Special 25, color variations, light effects. Oh, sorry. Take that back. There's regular 6-strand cotton, obviously. Color variations, light effects, pearl cotton, and metallic pearl. I got this from 123 Stitch. If you go on there and they are sold out, you can sign up for when it's back in stock. That's interesting. Don't come unstuck. Oh goodness, I realized it was not supposed to do that. I have to re-adhere that. If it's out of stock, they're notifying me when it's back in stock does work, because that worked for me. It took a while, but it did. So I'm happy to have that. Yes. And then the fabric. So as I mentioned, when I was in Montana, we did a little hand dye fabricking. Not with any fancy modeling or anything. It's our first time for any of us to do this. And we were stuck with what was available at their Joann's. So this is on 16 count Aida. Yeah, 16 count Aida. And here is the color. And so the origin of this, I could have set this up a little bit better, but it's a very pale lavender, as you can see. My friend who actually started cross stitching a little bit before I did and was part of the catalyst of like why I started, she is no longer really cross stitching. It's just not working for the hand situation. She just kind of finds that she immediately experiences pain, and it is not worth it to her at this time to push to continue cross stitching. But she had a pattern that she really wanted to stitch, which I will throw up here. I don't even remember the name of it. She really wanted to stitch this pattern, and she bought all the supplies for it. And starting it, I think, you know, she put maybe 20-30 stitches in it and just was like, I can't do this. It's a full coverage, just a bit much for her. So she asked me if I would stitch it for her. And I said that my caveat, I would stitch it for her, but I refused to stitch the background. Because, like I said, it is full coverage. All the background is stitched, and I don't need that in my life. So dyeing this fabric eliminated about 6,000 stitches for me. So I'm happy about it. So I don't know when I'm starting this either. I know she watches, so if you had a specific date in mind, let me know. I don't have a specific start date for this, but I feel like it'd be a cute summer piece. So I imagine I'll start it sometime this summer, but yeah, it's a little bit washed out in this light. But yeah, it's just a very pale lavender. But that was a fun little experiment. None of us had dyed fabric before, so this gives me, you know, it was not as messy as I thought it would be. It was not as like time consuming as I thought it would be. It was not as intimidating as I thought it would be. So fun times, and a good memory of that trip for sure. So there we go. There is that. I think I have mentioned everything I wanted to mention. Wrong. Last thing I wanted to mention is I have been on the hunt, you know, especially through these boxes that you get little specialty flosses, little fancy flosses, you know, things start to accumulate very quickly. And I struggle to know what to do with those fancy flosses and like how to best know what I have. Part of that is a display problem. Like I think if they were kind of all on rings where I could see them, that would be a little bit more helpful. Right now, they're not all like that, but I have been wanting some kind of way to organize or to catalog all of my threads. And I had been using, for my DMC, that's not too big of a problem. Like Lord Libidin on, you know, if you search that on the internet, has a like Google Sheets file that has all the DMC in it. So I've been using that to log my DMC, which has been working great. But again, when it comes to fancy floss, I was trying to make my own sheet similar, but it's just very hard with the different brands. And, you know, I wanted to log like how, you know, if it's cotton, if it's, you know, silk, if it's, you know, 8 yards, 6 meters, you know, 5 yards, whatever. They come in all different lengths. So I have been on the hunt, and I think I might have found something that will be good. So this app is called, how do I say, I'll pull up in the Play Store for you. It is Android only, and I am an iPhone user, but I do use Pattern Keeper, so I have a tablet, and I got it on here, and it seems to be running fine. So the app is Cross Stitch Thread Organizer. This is what the little logo looks like. It is paid. It was $2.99. And I only downloaded it yesterday. But the reason I wanted to point it out is because not only does it have, you know, DMC, of course, there are a lot of lists that are already available. Here, let me see. Can you please? Okay, here we go. So these are all the lines that are already integrated into this program. So you can see there's like Classic Colorworks and Color and Cotton and Dinky Dyes and Cottage Garden. Oh, I think this is all my list. But so there's 150 lists that are on here. Threadworks is on here. Mill Hill Beads and Treasures I was very impressed by. Fiberlicious for so some flosses that I have a number of that I know are not on this are Forbidden Fiber Co, but you can make your own custom list. And so this is what I feel like is such a big thing that makes me very excited is when you enter a thread in here. So I just got this yesterday, like I said, so I have not like played around with it too much, and I haven't entered my stash at all. But so I did one, for example. So I have a Forbidden Fiber Co thread that is 005 Raven, and you can set what color it is, which that is what is huge to me. And then when you go to the home page and you go look at your inventory or whatever, and you can color search. So this is what I feel like really sets us apart from other kind of logs that I've seen, is if I, here, let me, all activated list. Okay. So say you want to look for a purple thread, it gives you all the threads in their inventory that kind of match that, like in their list. Then you can filter it further and say, oh, I only want to see amongst my purples that I have. I want to see amongst my purples what looks like this. And it's all listed. What? Literally what? So that I am feeling pretty excited about. So like I said, I have not gone very far. I have certainly more DMC that match closer to this. So this is kind of this looks like it doesn't know what color is, but it's because I have maybe 30 threads in here. I feel like this is pretty dang cool. I am happy to continue playing with it. And if people want more information before they put the money down, I would love to keep chatting with you about how this is working for me. But I think that is pretty gosh darn neat. And then I believe there's places for you to log patterns. Oh, it's giving me the tutorial because I literally just bought it. You can log patterns, you can log projects, you can tell it that if a floss is associated with a project, you can say, I don't want to see it in my inventory. You can make shopping lists, it looks like. Just a thought. Just a thought. Don't know if people are looking for that too, but I am so far very impressed. Like I said, I think the biggest thing for me is all of the flosses that are already in there, the custom lists, and adding the color. Being able to add the color and adding and searching by color. I'm into it. I'm into it. So that's everything. That's pretty much everything. Like I said, I did have, oh yeah, I did want to do a little shout out at the end. I wanted to say thank you so much to Liz of Stitched by Liz. I mentioned her in my Stars Hollow unboxing video because she was my needle minder swap, and she shouted me out in her video, which I guess we'll just shout each other out continuously, but she was so sweet, and it was great to get to talk to her in person a bit over the retreat. And thank you to Athena of Stitching Goddess Design. She also just shouted me out and shouted Fozzie out, who of course is, you know, now I know everyone's here for him. I gotta make sure he makes like a video appearance. But anyway, thank you to both of y'all. You're so sweet. And yeah, I think that is it. It is 50 minutes. Once again, no matter how much or how little I stitch, I will fill that time up to the hour. So that is everything. My heart is very full this month of crafty love and just like excitement for all of my projects. I have a touch of the startitis. I do a little bit, especially because it's May, and I know a lot of people do new starts in May. But I was looking at my whip list, and I'm gonna try to stay focused. Like I said, I'm gonna try to quench the startitis with maybe, like I said, my bird, which is already on the to-do list for the year. I wanted to finish all of the bird crush birds. And maybe my dirt gerbil and my Kraken, because those are on the smaller side, so hopefully shouldn't derail things terribly. But with that, I'm gonna keep waffling. Like I said, thank you again for sticking with me if you were here, and thank you, yeah, just for all the support, all the love, and I hope that you had a nice April and you were enjoying some nice weather right now, and that maybe you have some fun stuff in May. I know it's kind of like retreat season, so, you know, I am not going to any, but I think I'm convinced that next year I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go to an in-person retreat. It's gonna happen. So I'm manifesting that now. But yeah, hope you have lots of fun stuff planned and are doing great. I will talk to y'all later. May the 4th be with you. I'll see y'all later. Bye. Come here. Come here. Come here. Ooh. All right, somebody was asleep, but I called him over just because I know some of y'all newbies, this is what you came for. I'm sorry, bud. I'm sorry. I love you. You're a bird. Okay, I'll see you later.